Hello everyone, my name is Scalti, and welcome back to our Timberborn Let's Play. Last we left off, we got our colony started. First and foremost, we got our dam in place to keep some water through the drought period, also allowing us to maintain our farmland. We have plenty amount of trees planted to start getting some lumber economy going. We also got a very rough food production started out as well, but we're mainly going to be focusing on expanding that food production in preparation for us to expand the colony. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. I hope you enjoy. So, we just wrapped up our first drought. We're going to get some flow back in here soon as the water here extends its reach. And my main focus this episode is probably to increase our irrigation area and with that, increase our farming. I want to rapidly expand, but before we can do that with our population, we absolutely need to get the infrastructure in place in which to support that growth. So we definitely want to do that. Also, it looks like we're getting a little stuck on food. So I'm going to switch that over. We don't need anything being built right now. But I know like we have berries and whatnot, which is totally fine, but I want to start producing. This is more than enough food for our colony right now, so I want to make sure that we're actually gathering up that food as quickly as possible and having some reserves in place. So in order to increase our irrigation footprint, there's a couple ways you can do it. Underwater here we have the water dump, which is the opposite of the water pump. Essentially it redistributes water in a specified location, and it won't stop until it reaches the spout level, if that makes sense. This is nice. This is a red herring. This is the irrigation tower. It irrigates the land around it. It is unique to the folktales, so the Iron Teeth, they don't have access to this, which is totally fine because this is a waste. This is not an efficient means in which to irrigate your land. From the perspective of water is it is the most important resource at your disposal. And this is very water inefficient. So you can look here, 2 water is used per hour per working day, if you will, or just 2 water per hour per day. Because this will still, I believe, operate even at night when it's not employed, like when the beaver is sleeping. So essentially that is 48 water per day being drained. Now, there's a trade-off. So you can see here, it's only 200 science, it's 15 logs and 20 planks. Okay, fine. It's one structure, it gets the job done. It's a 2x2 space, so it doesn't take up that much area. But the water, it's so wasteful. So the recommendation, which is what we're going to follow through on here, is utilizing the water dump in combination, for now, with levees. The levee system is really strong. Actually, we can also pause these guys because there's no trees currently grown. So we'll get some science from them. I'm gonna go ahead and actually speed this up a little bit. So, can I just? Is there anyone? Can this guy do anything? Yes. Let's harvest some blueberries. So the levees, for example, blocks water completely. So why not just build 4 of these in a cross pattern with no levee in the middle, and then you create a 1x1x1 cube of empty space? Well, you can build on top of a levee, so what if you built a water dump on top of said levee and you had it dump into that 1x1x1 space? Well, you can. And that 1x1x1 space, or that space in between, will irrigate the land just like an irrigation tower. Here's the kicker. As I mentioned, the evaporation rate for 1 full block of water is 9 days. And it takes, I think, 15 water can fit in a single cubic area. We actually don't need this guy working either, so let's go ahead and pause him. If we have one unemployed, then I might actually use some science real quick to get another inventor going. So let's unpause here. And we'll get him to build this. So the trade-off, like I said, though, like I mentioned, is under The irrigation tower, it's 200 science versus 250 just for the water dump, but then we also need 120 for the levee. It's 12 logs for the levee, which we need 4 of at least. So it's 48. And then we need 58 plus 10 planks, which is resource-wise more than the irrigation tower. But like I said, water is more important, so I'd rather spend the renewables. Technically water is renewable, but it's limited. Its frequency. So I'd rather spend the extra science and the extra resources developing this alternative solution instead. So we're going to do that for sure. And we're finally going to start accumulating some excess food, which will be nice. And then, let's see. Okay, so we're coming up on unlocking the levees, which we'll want. Yes. And, so I think these trees were like immature ones. So we're about to actually start having our pine trees that were planted. They're about to start popping, which will be nice. But hopefully also our adolescent beavers will start to mature and be able to be employees. So once we see these trees starting to pop, we're definitely going to want to start building up our farming area. The other thing that I wanted to kind of speak to, and I'm going to go ahead and slow the speed down actually a little bit while I'm speaking to it. And we don't need these anymore. That's fine. And I guess while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just clear these out. So we have all these little extra stumps here. If you just build roads, it'll clear them out like so. You can technically have beavers manually do this, but it's a waste of their time. But you can just clear them like that. I wish you could do the same for like saplings and whatnot, but it makes sense. You want those to kind of grow up. So we got these birch ones that'll eventually mature, which is fine. So in terms of our farming, so I like to build fences around my farm plots, mainly for us, well, to an extent for aesthetics, but there's also a function to it as well, which we'll get into a little later on, a few episodes in, once we start needing to rely on non-water power. But fences are decorations. They don't do anything besides block pathing. There's no inherent benefit to them other than that. And it also being a decoration. So, taking into consideration the fencing, which is 1 square block, and then as I mentioned in the first episode, we have our beehive. And then again, this is a 7x7 space in which the beehive has impact. And so, essentially, I determine a plot of farmland as 1 7x7 square area. So that way the beehives affect everything. Also, I'm wondering if we build another house, because I think our rotation of beavers is kind of neutral. So I think I might actually do that. Let's unpause this guy and just let that house slowly get built. Our trees are popping, which is fine. We don't really need to, well, yeah, we want the science. I'd actually go ahead and just pause the blueberries then, if that means that we can get an employee over here. Or I guess actually, like I said, our population balance is a little imbalanced. Farmland, yes. Okay, so the 7x7 plot. So I'd like to do 1 farmhouse per 4 plots. Is like a nice little balance in terms of the area in which they can quickly get to. And that'll actually improve over time. Like I said, if we actually look at our well-being, you can see the working speed, movement speed, and then also life expectancy. So once their work speed increases, they become more efficient at, working the land and whatnot. So it becomes more viable to kind of have one house per 4 plots. And because we can also have 3 beavers per farmhouse, it's quite doable. So taking that into consideration, I'm going to just kind of build up here as like a empty palette, or empty canvas, if you will. So this is essentially what we need at the bare minimum for our water tower. Oops, canceled out. And then we don't have no science points, but essentially the water dump will sit on top of this levee here in the front. But then we also need to consider we want some storage. So I would do storage like this, facing in the middle like so. Pathway coming out the middle like that. And then what I like to do is, if you picture, this is going to be not a levee, but it's just a simple platform. I mean, I guess technically a levee would work too. That'd be a little less expensive that way, but we would still need the platforms for this to work. So that's also some other additional science we want, but actually, I'm sorry, yeah, it's one farmhouse per 2 plots. Is what the system is. Mainly just because it's for symmetry, but the balance works out well too. And then we would do wooden stairs here and here, and then we would do a path here. We would actually have the, again, I'm locking me up, the platforms. So 1 high platform, 2 here, so essentially they can walk underneath but then still walk on top. And then I would do a local water storage here to minimize their travel, increase the efficiency, and let them just quickly hydrate here, and then if they're hungry, they can just get the food down below their little house. So that's the setup. And so then, if you will, we'll take the path here. So we'll go. This is the middle, and we'll start from here as like the middle of everything, and then I'll go up 1. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this, but then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so essentially all of this, except for this spot. Did I miscalculate that? I think I did. 1, 2, 3. Beehive goes here? No. 1, 2, 3 here. Yes. Beehive goes here, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, I had it right. And then same thing up here, so it'd be 1, 2. Beehive goes here. And so essentially these are our crops. And then if we had them unlocked, we would do the fencing like this, essentially, all the way around. So essentially just take this whole design here and then flip it, or mirror it rather. And that's how I like to set up my farming. Pretty efficient. Overall, looks nice and clean. And then, like I said, there's a technical additional function to the fencing. Some platforms over top that we can utilize. So let's take this into consideration with how we're going to affect this area over here. So if we're going to call this a fence, so this is the fence. We want to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's middle. And then we're going to go another 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's essentially going to be a fence line here. And then we'll do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be our line. And then we want to do from where our storage is going to be located. We'll do 1, 2, sorry, well, actually from storage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me just double check. That doesn't include, so it's 1, 2, 3, 6. Oops. So it's here. So we'll do storage like this. I'm gonna pause these. Delete. And then the hotkey for this is to pause structures is to hit P on your keyboard. Do the same thing over here, even though we're going to need the platforms, which I think, nope, still need some more science, which is fine. Looks like our population's catching up a little bit, which is good. We're kind of short on logs, so actually I'm going to unpause a lumberjack here. I'm also going to increase our speed since we're kind of figuring this stuff out. So let's see. Pretty much good on everything so far. We're starting to gather up some sunflower seeds and carrots, which is nice. We'll probably, so we'll do some carrots and sunflower seeds over here, or maybe we'll shift. Maybe we'll do carrots and potatoes over here, and then maybe turn this all into sunflower seeds temporarily. Or just kind of shift and move some stuff around, which either or totally works. Not a big deal. The other thing that I want to do, and this won't be for this project, but I like this little lake here. I want to square it out and then kind of make this the center of the map, turn this into like a little bit of a water feature. Or I could always terraform and actually do something in the direct center, which would be kind of cool, and build up some kind of special structure with like the district center on top. I've seen some pretty cool mega builds from various YouTubers and whatnot that I think are pretty cool. So we got 2 extra employees. Let's go ahead and speed up the science gathering process. Biggest one next, I guess, will be platforms. So we'll do the 2 here. Pause and pause. Stairs here. Pause, pause. And then I guess we can also technically do the farmhouses on top. And then storage. Do the water here. That. And yes, I understand, like I don't have the ability to do the beehives quite yet. You know, it requires 400 science, but also requires paper, which I'm not going to be too worried about for the moment. That's something that we can address down the road, but I'm just planning for the future in this instance. So, but we're going to quickly, like I just spent that 100 science and we're already back up to another 100. So I think the only thing that we really need next is the water dump at 250. And we'll get there pretty quickly with having 6 inventors up and running. Let's see, so our population, we have 10 extra beds now. We have the new building was opened. So let's see, we had just a population boom. We just got 4 new beavers. Actually, no, 2 new beavers, sorry. Day 2, or cycle 2, day 6. They popped. So yeah, let's see, we got... Why is this... Oh! I just realized why they're not cutting down trees, because I did not specify these to be cut. So actually, let's go while they're doing that, I'm going to clean this up. So let's clean up what they're not trimming. And not have to worry about that. And just make sure that everything that they are going to trim is selected. Actually get this set to grow a pine tree. Eventually we'll switch over to oak. But for now, we'll keep it with the pine, just for infrastructure needs. And you know, once we start burning more, we'll absolutely be planting more. And we always have like the space over here to quickly grow some oak as well, while the pine is growing simultaneously. So we are about, yeah, this next day we'll have enough water or enough science for this water dump. We can start getting this stuff built up, which will be grand. We'll have to move some stuff around, clearly, which will be fine. Not a huge problem. The district center mainly is going to have to get relocated. And I will actually position that. Yeah, I'll put it over here for now. Let's kind of square this out, actually. Oops. It's fairly beneficial to kind of keep your roads square, as least zigzaggy as possible. Like this is following the riverbed, which is not terrible. And technically, it's the same. If I was to go straight over and then down, it's still the same amount traveled, I think. Actually, no, it's a little less traveled, or a little more traveled. It's not technically a straight line. So straight lines, as much as possible, definitely beneficial. When our beavers go to, let's go actually unlock this, get this placed, and then let's... Oops. What's this? Okay, there we go. Oh, that's right. You can always hit the pause. You can select the pause pieces. Keep forgetting about that. So yeah, we'll get that done up. All right, so I'm gonna pause here, delete the district, and then just quickly rebuild it over here arbitrarily. Not critical for really anything. Actually, I'll do this. Kind of make it a little closer. Just square it out like that. Gonna need to move our logs. Log storage, which is fine. Switch that over to here. Well, switch it over to here. And then once that's ready to go, just set it to empty and they'll switch it all over. This will set to, let's say, yeah, we'll do potatoes and then we'll do carrots. I don't think our carrot storage is maxed out, and whatever we have left over will be beneficial. No available workers in the district. That's probably because these are set to normal priorities, so we're going to set these to low. So that way everything else is kind of getting work done. And I think we'll leave it, actually, yeah, I don't want to waste the logs right now on the fencing, especially the science as well. Science-wise, let's see. So one thing that would be nice is because, like, essentially we have evaporation, and as our droughts get longer, more evaporation will occur. But then we also want to make sure that we're not sucking up the water in our water pumps that's being used for our irrigation purposes. So it might be beneficial. Yeah, we'll wait until we get the triple floodgate unlocked. It's 500 science, so it's a hefty sum, but would be nice to have. And then in the meantime, we can do... Actually, let's see, our wood consumption is going to be fine. So we'll set up some dams here. And then what do we need for triple? We need 200. So yeah, we'll unlock the triple platforms. That way we can get over here cleanly. And then once we have the science overall available to build out the floodgates, we'll go ahead and do that. And then once that's built, we'll shift over the water pumps. But I want to get our farmland up and running here soon. So let's do this again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is essentially our farm plot, and then this will actually go back a little ways as well. Let's see, we have 1 unemployed. Let's go ahead and increase our builder count, because that's maxed out. We got those guys going ham. We can go ahead and destroy this. Let's go ahead and actually, because we're waiting, we're maxing out our lumberjack's inventory, and our logs will just kind of stick on the ground until we actually have appropriate storage for them. So getting that built up sooner than later is beneficial. So we have our science to unlock our, whoops, not a metal platform, but our triple. So we'll go ahead and get these in place like so. And we'll just kind of let that sit. They'll work on that once we get the farmhouse structures up here complete. I'm going to pause for now, because we can't really do anything with them until we get our water dump up and running as well. Or maybe we see, can we prioritize that? Oh, yeah, it's already being built, it looks like. Putting on some planks. Okay. Yeah, we're off to a good start. So yeah, I think this is a really nice little system here. Keeps things localized, which is quite nice, and is fairly simple, visually speaking. So that's always a benefit as well. I am gonna also place another water pump here, because I know our population is starting to get bigger. Maybe we actually also do another house. Now that we have this farm, yeah, see, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Look at all that irrigated land. It's wonderful. It's just what we needed. Okay, so we have this fully stacked. So let's go ahead and get this garbage picked up. All this rubble. These are just extra logs and whatnot. Get that all cleaned up. We got another drought coming in. No worries. So you can see here we got 15 water already locked and loaded. But then we have our full cube of water here. Whoops, where am I going? Here as well. And that essentially will now take 9 days to go down. So you can see how much water we're saving as a result, because that's essentially just going to sit there passively. I could technically have this guy not working right now and we'd be fine for the next 9 days. So I will do that. And then let's go ahead and get some crops planted. So we can actually just go straight. Nope, let's not. Hold on. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Boom. Let's go ahead and do up some potatoes. Look how quickly that's getting planted. Especially because we have the overlap from this farmhouse here, which is super nice. So yeah, we're going to be pretty solid on food. The next thing I think we might actually do is once this is up and running, maybe let's see, let's do that. Let's shift all the carrots out of here. Those will get relocated over here, which is wonderful. I'm actually, yeah, we don't even need, we're not even storing sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds are like freaking crack to these beavers. It's a little insane on how fast they will just chew through them no matter how much you plant. So I think what we might do, because if we go into our food, or want to go into our plant crops, so these 4 here are what we can plant via farmhouse. We got our cattails and our spatterdock as well, which is from our aquatic farmhouse. The wheat here, this requires the grist mill, and this will turn the wheat into flour, and then we'll need the bakery to turn the flour into bread. So that production chain is a little extensive for what we want right now. It's a little bit more of the mid game. I think I would say it's fair to say that we're still quite in the early game overall. So I think what we might do is actually turn this entire cropland over here into sunflower seeds. But we're going to replicate exactly what we got going on. And I think we're good on food. We got 108, and this is all going to get, yeah, okay. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just demolish all this. Demolish this as well. And then I'm going to have all of this destroyed. I think that should be reachable. No, it's not. So if I just build a path, all of that can now be reached, and I'll get that destroyed right away. I'm going to pause. Actually, not pause. I'm going to set the priority on these to the lowest possible, because that's going to utilize planks, which we have plenty of. But our wood stock, our wood resource being dedicated to this is chewing through some stuff that we don't want to worry about right now. Our water is also starting to diminish based on our population, which is totally fair. I think we'll prioritize this next, since we do have the we have some unemployed beavers as well. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just kind of like time lapse, if you will, through all of this, and until we get our next farmhouse plot system set up. So actually, instead of waiting, I did just take a stock of our inventory for our food, and we started digging into our berry reserves, which is a little precarious. So what I'm going to do actually instead is, let's go ahead and get our grill ready for the potatoes, because those are going to be popping soon. So let's go ahead and get our grill set up, and we're just kind of do that right here in front of the farmhouse. No big deal. And set the priority. Oh, that's already being built. Fantastic. So yeah, we got our water pump set up. We got our extra house set up. I think what we also want to do is I'm going to expand our water storage a little bit here, just to have this ready to go. I think we'll kind of need that for now. I think we'll be okay with that for now, rather, until we can unlock a more efficient storage, unlock the medium storage here, which requires gears. So we don't have gears being built quite yet. We definitely have the science for it, which is nice. We also actually have the science for our... oh, no we don't. I'm sorry. I thought it was 400. Thought we had the science for that. Yeah, our potatoes are going to be popping here quite soon. I think we're doing all right. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial, especially like if you have the storage and you have the manpower to full clear a field in a single day. You know, the faster you can harvest, the faster you can replant, the faster they'll grow, the faster you get food. And that's a positive feedback loop cycle for sure. So we're going to quickly be able to chew through these potatoes and then get some new ones planted and then start grilling some potatoes, and we have a new food source. And what's nice too is once you start to diversify, the beavers will kind of make their rounds through those resources. So they'll focus less on, say, carrots, and they'll start to focus on the potatoes, for example. And then that'll allow us to build up carrot storage. Actually, what I'm going to do here, instead of... I'm going to actually set this to grilled potatoes. The grill can hold 120, which is actually really fantastic considering the regular warehouse holds 200. So I'll leave it like that. Normally I'll probably eventually switch this to regular potatoes, because what I'll do is I'll actually do kind of like what I did with the farmhouse. I'll put the storage underneath the grill and provide access to it that way. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned up as well, and then let's go ahead and actually start to get this produced. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe, right? Yes. So then we'll do our storage. And then let's go ahead and get our sunflower seeds up and running. Like so. So we get the we're getting a decent use for our space. You know, we're missing out on what, 5 squares here. Not a big deal. At least for now. Just terraform later. And then I think it might actually be time. We might be able to actually get away with one more house being built. Well, let's see, we have 10 adolescents and we have 2 unemployed beavers. I think this pace is kind of okay right here for now. I'm half tempted to actually unlock the fence, but we really don't need it yet. So I'm just going to, I'm not, waste not, want not, right? The one thing that could be nice is maybe a hauler's post. That uses up a lot of employment though. I think our main focus should still be, well actually we have 750 signs, right? So let's slow our roll here a little bit. Let's unlock gears. And I'm actually going to do a space here. I'm going to do a second one for planks. And what's nice is you can kind of see what's being highlighted when I select one building. That's because power will transfer through these buildings. So all I technically need to do is power one and it'll power all of them. The one thing I would like to kind of experiment with here, and I think this might work. I'm not 100% certain. I've never really messed with it. I'm gonna try it out though, and we'll see what happens. Let's grab our levees. I want to mitigate. I want to block the flow of water to a 2 wide setup. So we'll do something like this. Here we'll do this. And then if do this over here, or actually I can build a platform here, here to kind of extend our power just a little bit, or like build like maybe another gear factory. So I'll do a pathway down here actually. Just run this all the way over. And for them to have access over here. And then power to a water wheel here and here. We'll see what happens. This should work. And if we condense the flow of the water, because right now we're just essentially we're dispersing the entire flow of these 12 cubes, or these 12 source blocks, across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares of water. So we're losing out on some flow. So if we technically consolidate this down to here, we might get more out of the water wheel. So for example, like if you recall, when it was positioned here, we were getting 25 horsepower, which is not a lot at all. So by consolidating the flow, this should work where we can drastically increase the power we're getting out of these wheels. So I don't know, we'll see. But you know what, we'll see. Hey, what's going on here? Do I not? Oh, we need planks. Oops, that's my bad. Well, that's fine. We still have plenty of food. 250 carrots, 120 plus grilled potatoes. Yeah, we're sitting pretty on food. We're sitting pretty on water. So we're good. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's wrap it up here, and we'll save power / factory expansion for next time and see if we can't figure this beast out and get some more wood harvested. So, all right, thanks. Adios. So a pretty good one, nice and productive. You know, expanded our population a little bit, and we have our farmhouses in place. I really like the design. I'm really happy I came up with it. I think it's nice and very, you know, compact. Has a little bit of everything to offer in terms of both the water right there available, as well as having the local food storage underneath, keeping the farmers as efficient as possible, ensuring that the colony at large is fed and supplied. And in terms of the power, you know, I'm editing this after I've actually recorded the next episode, and I'm pretty excited for it. I'm really impressed with the solution. Spoiler. But I think, yeah, we're off to a great start, and I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys are as well. So with that, if you guys did like the video, feel free to leave a like. It does help out the channel. If you want to see more content in the future, be sure to subscribe if you're not already. And if you have any questions about this game, what I'm doing it for, or satisfactory content, or anything in general, leave a comment below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.